everybody. My name is Chad Kassem from Acoustic Sounds, Analog Productions, and Quality Record Pressings. Today I'm going to do something a little different, try to have a little fun, try to recommend some things that y'all can go out and look for. We sometimes find these albums and resell them to our best customers and recommend them. But we've been real busy, so maybe y'all can go find them on your own out there in the wild. But I also been planning on making a list of our recommended recordings, Acoustic Sounds, Chad Kassem recommended recordings. Trying not to pick Analog Productions, but just to start there, Analog Productions are really my recommended records right there, you know what I mean? Because if they sound really good, then I want to reissue them, and I'm only going to reissue my favorite records that I think sound really good that I can recommend, because they just cost so much to produce and so much time that I'm only going to do my favorites. That's kind of what I've been doing, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. This is called the Alternate Blues. Clark Terry, Freddie Hubbard, Dizzy Gillespie, plus Oscar Peterson. This was an Analog Productions actually that's been way out of print for a long time. It was an original Pablo release, and we did this on Analog Productions. We had pressed it at RTI, and Doug Sachs mastered it on his custom tube electronics. And what it is, it's the Alternate Blues. It's one song that they kept doing alternate takes, because they'd do the take and then they wouldn't use it. Then they made another album called The Trumpet Summit. But this happened to be one of the songs on The Trumpet Summit, and for some reason, which I'll never understand, it's from the same session, but it sounds so much better. This will absolutely frost your cookies. I mean, this thing is awesome. I mean, Dizzy Gillespie, Clark Terry, Oscar Peterson, Ray Brown, Joe Pass. It's awesome. Highly recommended. Original Pablo. If you got the original Pablo, you're going to be good. If you got the Doug Sachs, you'll even be a little bit better. So, highly recommended. Here's one of my favorite artists, Louis Armstrong. I'm from Louisiana. He's from Louisiana. Very proud of this guy. I mean, he is awesome. This particular record, he does St. James Infirmary. If you ever at the Preservation Jazz Hall down in the French Quarter, ask him to play St. James Infirmary, and you'll be amazed. I mean, there's no microphones and there's no amplifiers, and you're sitting right with the band. But anyway, no better person to do it than Louis Armstrong. And then he also does the song I Ain't Got Nobody. And Classic Records did this, and Analog Productions did it as well. But it's out of print right now, and there also was a 12-inch single of this. Highly recommended. I mean, this one really, really good. You got to hear it. I mean, when you get one of the best jazz musicians recorded in stereo at Radio City Recorders, check out Radio Recorders in Hollywood. There's a video, I think it's on the Louis Armstrong Museum's webpage, of him doing the song, or this particular session. They found the tape just about 5 years ago, the video of it, film. It's unbelievable. It's of this record. So check that out, Louis Armstrong. Here's two more Louis Armstrongs that were done on Classic Records. Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington recorded together for the first time. I mean, what you have is two of the best jazz people that ever lived, and they're recording together. I mean, it's almost like the Louis and Ella, but this is Louis and Duke, and it's the first time they met. It was originally on Roulette. Unbelievable. Every song's good. Every song sounds good. This was on Classic Records, or originally Roulette. Then this is what they call the Great Reunion. So they together for the first time, the Great Reunion the second time. There's a song called Azalea on here, and also Just Squeeze Me. Just awesome, man. Awesome. The Azalea singing about New Orleans and the azaleas, and I mean it'll make you cry. It's just that beautiful. Highly recommended. Roulette or Classic Records. Here's a great record, Pure Prairie League. The song Falling In and Out of Love with You and Amy. It's I think a lot of people might think Amy might be the Eagles, but it's Pure Prairie League, and this is a great sounding album. Here's another one. This is J.D. Souther, John David Souther, Black Rose. There's a song in here called Silver Blue. Now we put Amy and Silver Blue on this guy right here. So if you don't can't find Black Rose, J.D. Souther, Black Rose, or the Pure Prairie League Busting Out, you can get this because we chose Silver Blue on here. We also chose the Amy from Pure Prairie League on here as well. Two other albums that are also on the wonderful sounds of male vocal, and highly recommend. This whole album is great. Now this one's analog, done by Doug Sachs. There was another reissue that was done somewhat recently. It was a DSD digital recording. This was done off the analog tape when it was fresh by Doug Sachs. And of course, Coconut sounds great. Let the Good Times Roll. Without You. It's just a great album. If you're only going to buy one Nielsen, Harry Nilsson, in my opinion, it's Nilsson Schmilsson. That's on the wonderful sounds of male vocals. Also on that, too, is this Greg Brown, The Poet Game. This is very, very hard to get. It's very, very expensive. I mean, it is amazing how good this record sounds. Again, also on the wonderful sounds of male vocal. Here's a fun record. It's not the most serious record. It's kind of a novelty record. It was done by Rhino Records. And Big Daddy, they're singing songs like, see some of the songs, Betty Davis Eyes and Super Freak. They're trying to sing Hotel California and the hits of the day in a 50s style. And I mean, they do it, and they do it well. But Super Freak, the Rick James Super Freak on here, I mean, it's unbelievable how good it sounds. It's just kind of a fun record. I mean, don't go pay an arm and a leg for it. You know, if you can get it for $10 or so, get it. It's just fun to play Super Freak in a 50s style with just unbelievable sound. This is one of my favorite blues albums. This is on Vanguard, and then Pure Pleasure reissued it. It's a Mississippi John Hurt Today from Vanguard. Great recording, great artist, one of the top blues guys, Piedmont Blues. Just, I mean, you can hear him smiling. It's not the low-down, dirty blues, man. It's just like a Piedmont style. He does Payday, Candyman, I'm Satisfied. It's just such a good album, man, and the sound is amazing. Here's a 12-inch single, Lou Reed, a Super Sound single 45. He does Walk on the Wild Side, and this is unbelievable, man. I mean, somebody told me I had to pay him $300 for this record. After I heard it, I would pull that money out so fast. This is a great Walk on the Wild Side, 45 RPM 12-inch single. Here's a good record. The original is good. The Island. I just grabbed well, this was one of the original Mo-Fis on the Anna disc, which was probably probably in the late 80s, early 90s. Let's see if I can find it. I don't see the original recording came out in 71. Anyway, this is an analog record that was made by the original Mobile Fidelity. It's not a DSD. I can highly recommend this record. It sounds great, and the original is going to be good, so highly recommend it. Traffic, Low Spark of the High Heel Boys, in case you couldn't see it. This one is really good. This is Archie Shepp and Horace Parlan, Going Home. There's also one called Trouble in Mind. It's on the label Steeplechase. And it's very intimate. It was done in Copenhagen. It's just piano and saxophone. This one happens to be, gospel songs. Unbelievable recording. Just so intimate in the room. It's great. And there's also another one on Steeplechase called Trouble in Mind, which is just more songs done by the same two great. Adagio Diabolonia with Gary Carr on the double bass. It's unbelievable sounding. It's really, really good. So Gary Carr, Dagio Diabolonia. This one happens to be a 45. It was original on Firebird, then it was reissued by Super Analog, and then it was reissued by Cisco. Here's a directed disc on Jeton Records. This thing really, really sounds good. It's the Chris Barber Band, Come Friday, directed disc on Jeton. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. George Jones Live, just a regular Epic recording, Epic label. And he does He Stopped Loving Her Today. And I mean, this will absolutely break you up. I mean, like, I put on this record, sometimes I come back in the room and the people are just sobbing. I mean, it's just that good. Regular record, find it, play He Stopped Loving Her Today. You're going to love it, man. Here's Bola Sete, Tour de Force. He's a guitar player, and he's Brazilian. Just really, really sounds good. It was original on the Fantasy. We also did it as the Analog Productions Revival series. But either one really sounds good. Bola Sete on Fantasy or Analog Productions Revival series, Tour de Force. Great guitar record. Here's another great directed disc on Jeton. Ray Brown and Lorindo Alameda. They do Malaguena. They do a lot of good stuff, man. Sounds great. Highly recommended. Unbelievable sound. Great music. Here's another great record that I've been using as a demo for a long time. It's War's Greatest Hits. And also, if you want to even get a little bit better version, Kevin Gray just cut one for the Record Store Day. Usually Record Store Day stuff seems a bit gimmicky to me, and colored vinyl, and they seem to just try to release things just for the sake of selling colored vinyl, just different little gimmicky things. But they did this one on gold vinyl, and they released it on Record Store Day, and Kevin Gray cut it with his custom tube electronics that he just built. And it sounds fantastic. So whether you get the original United Artists or the new record done by Warner Brothers, I would try to get the Record Store Day that just came out. Unbelievable sounding. There's not a ton of great sounding rock and roll albums, you know, like Santana Braxis is one of them. There's others. Blood, Sweat, and Tears' first album. Different things. But this, Audio Fidelity, 10 years after, Alvin Lee on the guitar, I'd Love to Change Your World, We pressed it here at QRP. It was on the Audio Fidelity label. This thing is amazing, man. It is just so awesome. And Alvin Lee is just one of the best guitar players. 10 years after, Space and Time. Pressed at QRP. Oh, here's another Vanguard, Skip James Today. He does the Hard Time Killing Floor blues. It's the most eerie blues. Spooky, spooky, eerie. When you hear his voice, it's unbelievable. This is Vanguard Today. Skip James. Highly recommended. This Rossini string sonatas on Argo. A lot of the Argo sound amazing. This has got the Academy of St. Martin's in the Fields, Novell Mariner. This sounds really good. There's two of these. There's this one, which is, I think it's like 1 through 6, and the other maybe 6 through 12. Then Super Analog did the same thing. So this is just a Super Analog version of it. Here's another Super Analog, Dvorak New World with Cortez and the London Symphony. Now they did 2 Cortez Dvorak New World on Super Analog. I think the London sounds better. They did from 2 different symphonies, same piece of music, same conductor, but the London, to me, symphony sounds better. It's amazing. Blow you away. I love this album. This is a live album. This was done by Alto. They reissued it in, I think, 97. It was recorded in 61. I mean, if you like Waltz for Debbie, Sunday at the Village Vanguard, you know, the best jazz live recordings ever, you can put this in that class. It's unbelievable, especially the Alto reissue. You will love it. Now, it was on Argo, which Chest owned, and I'm sure if you get that will be as good as well. But I have a feeling it's not going to be as good as the reissue, and I think Bernie Grundman did the mastering on this. Unbelievable, great record, great sound. Here's the Judds Heartland. They do Don't Be Cruel, and it just really sounds great. Some light country, really good sounding. The Judds Heartland. Here's Francis A. and Edward K. This is, Francis A. is Frank Sinatra, and Edward K. is Duke Ellington. And it sounds amazing. It was on Reprise, and they do the song Sunny. And I mean, it is unbelievable. The horn, the orchestra, just the dynamics are incredible. This is a great album. And they almost always have a rivet up here. I don't know why. This is, I think the rivet might have stood for a cutout. This might be the only one I've ever seen without a rivet. If you buy it, check it out, see if you get the rivet. But great. I wish somebody reissued this. I've tried to talk Warner Brothers into doing it, and it almost happened, but it didn't. But these are somewhat plentiful. Get it, Play Sunny. We had reissued this album. This is the original ABC. DCC reissued it, and also Analog Production reissued it. And the key song on it is Baby, It's Cold Outside. I mean, Ray is in the room. Ray and Betty are in the room, and they're talking back and forth. And so this was recorded in 1961, and it's just amazing. Great sounding record. I mean, it's just, they're right there. These are some Everest. Classic reissued this, the Antal Calabri. This is unbelievable sounding. The music's out there. It's a little odd, but it'll blow you away. This is Fowler Three-Cornered Hat. We still do have a few of these. The Fowler Three-Cornered Hat on Everest, 45. Blow you away. The Antal Calabri. This is the the classic that came out. These two are Everest records. I always liked the Spanish classical, the Albanese, Suite Española, you know, the España, the Rodrigo. You know, it's always so accessible and it has the guitar and it just sounds so I mean, what it is, the Spanish music, it's great. You know, it's got the castanets, lots of ambience, lots of, you know, just big room sounding. And this is, if you get the original, the Decas, there's a cutout in the record, and it's the sleeve that's blue. You see this blue right here. See right here. Now, that when it slided in, it indicates stereo, so they could use the same jacket. If it was mono, it would be another color. It would be red for mono. This one's stereo, and I'm glad it is. It's really good sounding. Speakers Corner and Alto had reissued this record, and also Super Analog reissued it. This was done by Chesky, Stravinsky Petrushka, and was recorded by Kenneth Wilkinson. I mean, Kenneth Wilkinson is the absolute best. He did Power of the Orchestra. He did the Royal Ballet. He did this record in London in 1962. Great sounding. This Bruce Springsteen, The Ghost of Tom Joad, great record, great sounding. Highly recommend it. Bill Henderson, Live at the Times. It's on the Discovery label. And this classic had reissued just to send in the clowns, 12-inch 45, 33 on one side and 45 on the other. Humble Pie Smokin'. It's the first band I seen when I think I was 11 years old. Cousin brought me to New Orleans, the Municipal Auditorium. It was Wet Willie and Humble Pie with Steve Marriott, and this band is just raw and they're raunchy. And if you like the if you like the Black Crows and you listen to this, Chris Robinson loved this record. I asked him about it. He can't deny it. I mean, they are modern day Humble Pie, and thank God, because Steve Marriott's just so raw, so real, and it's too bad we lost him, but this album is great. And the song 30 Days in the Hole is just amazing. So this is another one of those great rock albums that just sound good. So there you go, man. Again, I just thought it would be fun to recommend some records that we're not even trying to sell you, that you can go find on your own. Good luck. I think you'll like them. I'm going to continue to do this as a series. You know, pick 15, 20 records. Trying not to pick things that we have for sale. You know, these are the things I do for my customers, or since I started this in '86, and you know, I get to be friends with customers, and some of the people want me to build really big collections, you know, and I do that for them. And these are the things I do for them, is like, I don't always try to sell them the $300 record. I love to be able to sell them the $20 record that just will blow them away, because they're just as fun, you know. And so basically that's what I do for my really good customers that really want to build collections. I continue to do that when I have time, but I just thought, you know, now with YouTube and, hey, let's just share some information, some fun records to play, you know, records you can find. You know, we don't always have to, we don't have to make money on everything we do. I mean, this is my hobby. This is what I love. If I can recommend an album, if y'all enjoy these half as much as I do, you're going to love them. So, again, appreciate the support, and look forward to the next time. I'll pick another 20, and we'll try to keep this regular. And then at the end, maybe we'll make a list of all the records that I recommended. So again, thank you, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also subscribe to our email list. Go to our website, subscribe to the email list, and 6 times a month you'll be let known what's coming out. So hey, thank you so much.
Please like and subscribe for more audiophile content.